Guys, if you didn't see it, Leaving Neverland came out, and this was like a big thing about Michael Jackson, documentary over there on HBO did it, and it was about the abuse that was claimed against him. Now, we do know that Michael Jackson, like this went on for a long time. He was found innocent, and then all of a sudden, like this documentary came out later on, and there was a big uproar that happened when this came out. Big uproar. And Deadline now revealed that it's been 5 years since his first one came out, that now the director's coming forward and he's doing another one. Dan Reed has moved forward with this. And I'm interested to see like how this will actually be, because Dan Reed...
losing signal. What's going on?
Oh. Because Dan Reed, I think that what he did with the first one, you showcase a lot of things, of course. You showcase a lot of things. But to go back into this after all this time, I'm like, let this be to me. Let it be. Max is not involved. HBO was actually sued over this whole thing because back in the day, they had a whole deal with the estate that they had. They kind of broke during this actual documentary that came out. And now Channel 4 in the UK is the person that's actually from this. On March 18th, it's going to come out. And HBO is like, we can't be involved. So why, after all this time, 5 years, is it the Michael Jackson biopic coming out that we're doing this? Do we need another Leaving Neverland? I don't think we do. I think we let it be. As I said before, it's very controversial. I know that people love Michael Jackson or they hate him based on these allegations. I'm just like, it's been enough time. Leave the man alone. To me personally, I say, let's not go back into this world. But again, apparently, they think this is going to make money, so it's coming back one more time. But what's the panel think? That's my question right now. What's the panel think? I see Valerie's face. Valerie, what do you think about this? You see this? This Leaving Neverland was pretty big. It was pretty big. Everybody was talking about it. Do you think this is the right thing to dive back into this Michael Jackson verse again after all this time? 5 years?
I really want to know the why. I want to know the angle that it's taking. I'm very interested to know, what is the purpose? Are we telling the same story? Are we elaborating on the same story? I mean, what is, how is this gonna help like survivors of like SA? I mean, I don't know. What is this going to be like? I don't know the purpose of it. Is it like to counteract the documentary coming out, or not the documentary? Sorry, the
biopic. Yeah,
like you had mentioned. I mean, I just want to know, because the first one was so graphic and horrific, and I mean, the whole time, like, I mean, for anybody that watched it, it was like just complete silence with these people telling these awful, horrific stories. And it's like, oh my God, another one? We're doing that again? Okay. So I don't know. What's the why? I want to know the why.
Do you feel like it's like, I know a Countess said it out there too. Do you feel like it's like beating a dead horse at this point?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. That's what it feels like. Cause I'm like, what are you going to tell me that I don't already know about the terrible things that allegedly happened that this man did to these children? What else are you going to tell me? Because I mean, yes, people still love Michael Jackson, but that is always going to follow his reputation just as much as everything else that he did. I mean, even if you love him, that is part of his legacy, whether you believe it or not. That's associated with him.
Yeah, forever. It's just what it is, Val. Forever, it's attached to him. Yeah. I mean, you have those kind of allegations. You had Macaulay Culkin standing up for him. You had a bunch of people come forward and be like, no, this didn't happen. But then you have the people that did come forward, which is what this documentary was all about, Leaving Neverland. But to me, we did it. We've gone there. We've moved on. But I think you're right. I think it comes down to combating, because people have been saying this has been a whole thing. They've been like, well, this biopic is going to shine a light out, or it's going to have us forget about all those allegations. Just make us look at him in a good light. But they say they're diving into some of that too in this biopic, if we ever see it. And the reshoots, we talked about that before. But I think that this is a cash grab. That's what it feels like. We're going to try to do one more. 5 years is a long time. They said we're working on it for 5 years for this documentary. It just seems like a long time. And this was supposed to come out this year. It was supposed to come out now, but it's been delayed because of the reshoots, the biopic. So I think this is just like they had this planned to correspond with this to make some money. That's what it feels like to me.
It does feel like that. And that's just, I mean, it's just upsetting to think about, because they're telling the story of alleged sexual abuse survivors, and for for something with that to be a cash grab is just really disgusting and cheap. That shouldn't be. That needs to, if you're going to do storytelling about that, it needs to be in a way that genuinely exposes things and I think would help other survivors.
That's a big thing. Help people out, right? Something that shines light on it and makes people feel comfortable and makes them feel like they can come forward. Yeah. That's always the big purpose of a lot of this. And I just think that this is it just smells fishy to me. The fact that's coming out now, HBO wants something to do with it. I know the biopic is a big controversial thing coming forward. I'm just bummed because I think that just let it be at this point. But then again, I feel like as Michael Jackson keeps coming into the limelight through biopics, through different projects, somebody else is going to try to gravitate to that actual momentum and make money off it. They're going to try, So
sad.
I love Michael Jackson still, guys. I'll say it. The King of Pop. I still love all of his music and what he did and what he gave to the business. I just think it's just tough. It's just a tough situation because if this actually happened, that's not right. But I think we've already delved into it. We've already had that conversation. Let's move forward. I feel like that, but I don't know.
Do you feel like it's more of I don't know. Do you feel like it's more of okay, there's big projects coming out about this man. We need to keep focused on the horrible things that he did, or more of, you know what I mean?
I think that's what it is. I think that's what people have been saying too. Well, you can't they're going to make him look great, and he wasn't a great person. And it's that's just unfortunate, as people are saying, you're beating a dead horse. I saw a accountant said that too. It's let it be,
Mm-hmm.
Words of the Beatles, let it be. But
yeah, it all comes really down to what's your genuine intention behind this, Yeah. Because it doesn't always feel like really good, honest,
doesn't.
tense storytelling.
It doesn't feel the greatest.
That's why I think the biopic will never come out. They tried to include stuff.
You think it'll never happen? Because they're doing reshoots. I went to reshoots about it. It's a lot of money. Millions spent.
They spent more money than we can count. But the bottom line is,
you want a biopic about though, GR. I mean, honestly, I want to see the Michael Jackson biopic. He says,
no. If they're gonna, Brian, I would agree if they tell the whole story. And the reason they haven't do reshoots is the producers or whoever that made the movie tried to include some facts in there that, oh my God, we can't let them say that. And they had agreed to, and they thought they could slide them in there, and then you'd have a balanced picture of what Michael really was.
Well, they were saying they were going to do that in the biopic. They were like, oh, we're not going to just be about making the good and ignore the bad. That's what they said. But also, you're right. There's the whole court case. They weren't supposed to mention the family, and they still mentioned the family multiple times. Apparently, that's why the reshoots are happening. The decision of maybe splitting into two movies now is a whole thing. We talked about that before in the show. I just think that, again, you have a tale like this that needs to be put into film like that. We just had Chalamet do the Bob Dylan story. That he has a story that needs to be told. I think Michael Jackson's need to be told for the good and the bad too. Mm-hmm. And I think that if it's not telling that, then that's a problem. Tell the good and the bad. Not everybody's a freaking saint. There's not. Mm-hmm. And especially being part in that world, being a kid growing up in that, trying to find yourself, losing yourself. I can't imagine being a child celebrity like Michael Jackson was and what that does to somebody. And that's what needs to be showcased in this biopic. It needs to, GR, but you don't think that's going to do that? You don't think it'll actually come out?
No, because the families are going to fight that, and that's why they're doing the reshoots. And I don't think they can truly tell Michael's story without some of that negativity.
You have to.
Being there.
Mm-hmm. You have to tell it. The good and the bad. That's everybody's life, the good and the bad, I whenever a biopic comes out, hopefully one day about Brian Kruse, I want the bad there too. You know what I mean? I want the good and the bad.
Well, that's easy. I'll make sure they know about it, Brian.
Whoa, calm down, GR. Calm down.
Don't do anything bad, Brian. That's all.
I'm not doing anything crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not me. I was a Boy Scout. I'm do a good turn daily. That's my life. Ernest, have you any excitement about this biopic for Michael Jackson? I know it's been shooting in LA quite a bit. They've done reshoots quite a bit too. And do you think that we should be actually delving into this whole Leaving Neverland one more time after we've been 5 years through it?
I don't know. You have some people who are like super enthusiastic about knowing all the details and all that. Have you seen the '90s biopic that came out? It was kind of like a series, a mini series. It was on NBC or something.
I never
That was
saw it.
pretty
I should
good.
go back. Was it good? I should go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's called The American Dream, and it Terrence Howard played like Tito, and like they had like a
hell
whole
yeah.
biopic situation in the '90s.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good. I was a fan. Again, it is kind of like Chappelle's, like, hey, everything sounds sus, the whole situation, but would you let your kids stay with him? Probably not. So it's one of those situations that, like, but I'm still a fan. I'm hoping that I'm one of those who are like hoping he didn't do that stuff. He was just a big kid, but I'm not 100.
I feel that same way too. I'm like, I kind of hope that it is that whole situation.
You don't want to
like
leave
he
your
never
kids
grew
with
up.
somebody that kind of tells you something in your subconscious of what you feel about someone already.
I mean, like, I just like the parents are just having like kids stay at Neverland Ranch, and Ernest, I've said this to the people out there multiple times to come to the show. Would you spend a night at Neverland Ranch with Michael Jackson?
If you can say no, then you already know what you feel.
I would do it. I'm going to tell you, I would do it.
I'm sure as a parent, you'd be like, no. As a kid, you're like, that's awesome. They got roller coasters and chimpanzees. And
Yeah.
Right?
With your parent being there, maybe you would. Leaving your kid alone is like, yeah. Then if you're saying no, you already know where you stand. And if you just want to go there as an adult, Brian, and go hang, then there you go.
I would go there tomorrow. I mean, it just seems like it might be haunted. There might be some crazy stuff. I bring like my freaking, like, what is it, Ghostbusters had the little meter with the bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
I just go there and just explore. I just go explore.
Like, he's really alive. What? He's been there hiding.
Right? He's hiding in an attic area, and he's there. Right, and then I'm like, me and I'm like, Michael.
Him and Elvis are both hiding that place.
Yeah, I just think that, like, I don't see any kind of urge to like drag this all this old stuff up one more time for another season of a documentary that already happened.
See it, but I probably won't see it.
Did you all watch it?
I watched the first one. It was, I remember when it came out, everybody was going nuts about it. So I put it on and I watched it. And it's, it's pretty graphic. Those kids too, they're interpreting, and the way they talk about it, what they get into, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to tell both sides, of course. And I just still am like, we did it though. And I think this is just because Michael Jackson's back in the news with this biopic. I think that's the only reason why. And they said they've been working this for 5 years. I don't believe that. I think they scrambled, put this together fast because this movie's coming out. That's what I think. I think it just seemed like cash grab. Angela, do you think that's the same thing, or do you think this is like something they've been working, they're waiting for, and they're excited to bring out right now?
I mean, it's probably both. I mean, I think it's like it'd be like a golden opportunity, right? If you're gonna put a biopic out about him, and then if you've been kind of sitting on this to, like, for these guys to essentially kind of reinstate after the lawsuits were dismissed. I mean, this could, bring new developments to light, because like the whole like original like Leaving Neverland sparked all the heated debates, and
Massive.
Jackson's estate like strongly denied all the claims and, sued HBO. So this sequel, I think, might attempt to kind of reinforce the accusations, like with new evidence and other.
You think it's going to dive into like the after effects of that?
What's that?
You think it'll dive into like the after effects of that first documentary?
Oh, I mean, probably. I mean, it might. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that, especially if like this, if these guys want to come out with something, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think, anything's possible. I think the documentary isn't just about like kind of revisiting the past. It's also, it's about keeping the conversation alive of what he had allegedly done. So, given all the backlash and the lawsuits and the divided public opinion, I mean, from the first film, I would expect even more controversy and debate, like when this airs. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Do you see it being like any kind of cash grab though too, based off the biopic coming out?
I mean, it's an opportunity to like leverage, right? I mean, in the sense of if it was like if like Weinstein had something coming out, I mean, would people not want to put out something in tandem with that? Yeah, probably. for sure.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have just this like beautiful like portrait painted of this one individual, I mean, in their life. And there's this extremely dark side that, you know, you have with the first film, right? With these kids and stuff in it. And I mean, you can't ignore that. That's pretty intense. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, sexual abuse is a big deal. And I mean, you can't sweep it under a rug and say, we're just going to pretend this guy was just like the most amazing thing that ever happened to it. You know, I mean, sure. Was he creative and did he have, he had talent, but we can't glorify, you know, somebody who also was like allegedly a sexual abusive person. I mean, you know, you can't, I don't know. I think this is going to, you know, kind of will be their ongoing, I think, legal battles against that Jackson's estate, and I think updates on their, you know, personal lives, the impact also of like the first documentary on both of them, like both of the Robson and Safechuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that this is gonna, I mean, because it, you know, think of it, it brings up wounds for anyone who's like an SA victim or alleged victim, whatever. I mean, it's a triggering situation of what already is living inside of them. So that is going to bring back, I mean, if they're able to do this, I mean, that biopic comes out, I mean, I would expect this to be that. And I mean, and this, I think the sad part is that it becomes TV gold though, like for Netflix and for other people to have those types of things airing, because it brings eyeballs brings money, brings new subscriptions. I mean, people know it draws attention, right?
What's the question though too? Where's it go? Because it's going to the UK right now. They can't be on Max again because of the lawsuit that happened before.
Right. Yeah.
You think anybody would actually touch this though? Is somebody else going to pick this up? I mean, somebody I think will want to make this kind of money. I think that they could, but like, what network is actually going to touch this?
If you're a greedy executive, I mean, somebody might have the balls to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
somebody has to. I just say we got to be able to see it. I mean, it can't just be like a UK thing. It's got to come out here somehow.
No, I mean, I think it's, you know, in the same sense, it's educational for people, right? Just, I mean, in the sense of like wanting to let people talk about their story, that they have a right to share, you know, whatever comes to light from, you know, from this and from their version of how things went on, and not like, again, glorifying somebody just because of how they were raised. And sure, they might shed some light on like in the biopic about his like, you know, alleged sexual abusers and all that stuff. But it's, I mean,
it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be this
just, shiny, happy story. I think that there's going to be something about that. But again, if these other people are going to come in and be like, listen, we're not just going to let you just shed this beautiful story on this person or something, we're going to like also unmask the side that is, you know, maybe there's new evidence, maybe there's new things that have surfaced. So because it was a dismissed trial or a dismissed case, then it's something that you can bring new evidence in. So you open the doors for a lot of things when you're going to talk about a certain subject matter. You just open the doors for different things to come in to play. Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody knows.
I'm intrigued to see what they do and what they bring forward. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see, but I still just want to see this biopic. I want that to come out. I think we're going to see more things like this come forward too. I think there's going to be more people, like you're saying, Angela. They're going to jump on the opportunity.
You can't be the king of pop and not have a biopic, regardless of what allegations have been made about him and what has happened. I mean,
it's the people that did the Queen one that are behind this, though, too. You know, it's like you got the right people behind it to do an actual great biopic about this, man. Touch on the good, the bad, the ugly, the fantastical, all of that.
And that's what they're going to do. But there's backlash to all of that. You know what I mean? It's
Jafar looks great as him. His nephew looks great as playing the King of Pop. You know, I want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, backlash, lawsuits, divided public opinion, all wrap it up into a
making money. That's what we're talking about. Making money.
And
big box office.
It's a cash cow for somebody to watch.
Yeah, big box office.
Or to take on.
It's coming. It's coming. Val, anything you want to? I see you want to say something before we move on here.
I was just gonna say, like Denise Richards on OnlyFans, documentaries. It's all the same. It's all the same. One and the same.
It's all money.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.